Okay, so when you're planning out your coloring for your Mola, you guys are going to be learning about two different types of color families. The first one is analogous colors. And so you can see here on the planning paper, I have written out for you analogous colors. These are colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. So think about the color wheel like a clock and think about the numbers that would be like next to each other. So like 1, 2, 3. Those would be analogous colors, or yellow, green, green, and blue, green. They're neighbors on the color wheel. And so I wrote down for you guys to pick 4. You can pick a 5th one if you really want, but the way that is really helpful is to use this little, almost looks like a little Pac-Man. And so when you set this down on your color wheel, it's only going to show 4 colors that are all analogous because they're all neighbors on the color wheel. They're all right in a row. So you can kind of spin this around and decide which color scheme that you want to go with. And I really like this. There's 5 colors here instead of just 4, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go with those. They're still all analogous, they're still neighbors, so I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write red, violet, red, red, orange, orange, and then I'm gonna add a number 5 and I'm gonna write yellow, orange. So those are my analogous colors. This is what I'm gonna use to color inside of my focal point, okay? So inside of my butterfly example, I'm gonna be using these colors, okay? And now for my next one, I'm gonna figure out 2 complementary colors and those are colors that are opposites on the color wheel. So I don't need my Pac-Man for this. And when I look at my color wheel, let's say that I wanna there's 3 main sets. So it would be like yellow and purple, blue and orange, or red and green. But if I'm feeling fancy, I could even go as far as to say yellow and green because they're right across from each other, or yellow, green, and red, violet, they're right across from each other. I could say blue, violet, and yellow, orange, or I could say blue, green, and red, orange. You know what? I really like those 2. So this is where you're picking one color and you're cutting the color wheel directly in half. Those 2 opposites, those are called complementary colors. So I'm gonna pick blue, green, and red, orange, but you can pick any 2 that make sense for you. And for me, I want these to go really well with my analogous colors that I chose. And this is gonna be with oil pastel. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to find my red violet. And I honestly don't really have a really good red violet. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna layer violet and red. It's as simple as that. And boom, I now have a red violet. Next one is red, so I'm just kind of coloring this over top of the color that I had written down so that I know what I'm working with. I do have a red orange, so that's my red orange. And orange, let's see here. This is more of like a yellow orange. And I'm gonna go find an orange and be right back. All right, so I have my colors for my analogous colors inside my butterfly planned out, and I also have them set aside so that I can just kind of use them. You might have to share, but you know, you mostly have them figured out. Now for my for my complementary colors, I wanna get those ones on here too. So blue-green, I don't really have a good blue-green, so I'm gonna just layer colors. So I'm gonna pick this blue, and I'm gonna pick, I think, a darker green for my blue-green. And then I'm also gonna do red-orange, which I do actually have. It's one of my colors for inside my butterfly too. So these are my colors that my whole design is gonna be colored with. I have them all set out. So now I can start coloring.